All right, happy Sunday. Welcome back to Fangirlz Assemble. Good news. I said this at the right time of the day.
Yeah, nice.
Woo! AM instead of the PM. Woo!
Love that.
Hello, everybody. So today we have a shorter read. A little bit shorter than we thought it was going to be, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about Look Back, which is a one-shot manga by Tatsuki Fujimoto, who is the writer and illustrator behind Chainsaw Man, which has been a huge deal. It's been a really popular manga, and the show has been incredibly popular. It's on Hulu right now. It's beautifully animated. And this is just a one-shot by him. It's on the Show and Jump app, so if you already have that, again, it's like $3 a month. You can read that there for free. You can buy a physical copy of this book as well. But before we jump into it, we do have to talk about our wonderful sponsor, InStockTrades.com, where you can get your books up to 50% off. And if you spend $50 in the United States, you get free shipping. Pretty great.
It's amazing. And I have to mention, if you haven't heard about it, Maddie, or the viewers, maybe everyone already knows, but you need to check out right now. Go search on InStockTrades Omnibus, sorted by discount. There are 75% off on some Omnis right now. Dang. I'm talking dirt cheap. And did your girl buy some Omnis when she hasn't in a long time? I absolutely did. Look, Howard the Duck by Chip Zdarsky was like $20-something.
That's bonkers.
I needed it in my life, y'all. So I definitely got it.
What can you do?
I definitely got some other stuff. And I have to also mention our discounted book of the month, which comes out on Tuesday on IST, and it will be, I believe, 50% off. What is this image? Yeah, 50% off. And I happen to have a copy here in my own hands, but it doesn't come out until Tuesday. It is the new Kyle Starks book, of course.
Yeah, fuck this place, which has great reviews. I'm dying to read it.
This is the variant cover on IST. We'll say I hate this place, but it's the same book, and it's fantastic. Yeah. Either cover you get, but you will get it for a great, great discount. And yeah, it's so good. It's a great horror, and you're gonna love it. And the art's very cool as well. Look at this art. Come on now. You need it in your life, I promise. It's fantastic.
And we're Kyle stands over here, so
that's right.
You know it is.
Always and forever.
Well, this was a lovely read for this weekend. Look back. It was the only thing that stopped me from just doing what I've been doing all weekend, which is playing Pokemon, and that's it. That's all I've done. I have ignored social media. I've ignored taking care of myself in any way, or the house, just to do that.
It's fine. Social media is dying right now.
There was a brief board game time with friends, but the majority of the time it's been Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, social media is bonkers. But we are not, contemporary commentators on YouTube, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I wish we were, and I wish you were watching Love is Blind so we could talk about all of that, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah. I need to.
Is what it is. So about Look Back. So this is really cool. Again, it's short. It's a one-shot. This came out in 2021. This is a huge departure from, what Tatsuki normally does. I should refer to him by his last name, Fujimoto. What Fujimoto normally does with Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man's like a totally different beast. It is. We've talked about it before. It's the best. First of all, it's a shonen. It's bloody. It's hilarious,
and it's so weird.
It's so weird. And there are depressing moments in that, but it's very different. So Look Back is primarily a slice of life. You could say the fantasy elements at the end are more of a in this person's imagination sort of deal than anything else, right? From what I
that's what I gathered from it. Yeah.
Okay. So it starts off with this girl in elementary school and goes into middle school, and you do see her later in life. But in elementary school, I identify with this girl a lot because I used to draw all the time. So she loves drawing. She loves making little comics that go in the little newspaper for their grade or whatever. And all our friends oh my God, you're so good. I love when you're doing your manga. It's so great. And it's it does build a lot of self-esteem. Adults as well are always oh, you're so great. But then she finds that there's another student who doesn't really come to school. They tend to be a shut-in. And they also draw, and they also are interested in making manga. And she's like, if they haven't already been working on it, then like they can't be good. Again, I feel very called out for that age because that was me. So pretentious. I would not be that way now, but at the time, very much so. But then she sees their drawings and they're very different. So our main character, she draws like very elementary school manga looking kind of like art. It's very silly. It's about like the story. And she draws more people and stuff and some stick figures. Whereas this other student draws these very elaborate, incredible background work. And she's like, oh my God, this person's incredible. And even like a friend of hers is like, oh, your art looks kind of bad in comparison. And she has this whole crisis. And so we start off with that basically, where she's like, okay, everything, I've built my entire self-worth on this skill. And now like somebody else is definitely better, but in a different way, because art is very different. Skills are very different, right? She obviously has something great to bring to the table. This person, obviously very good at background, does not have that other thing, right? But without meeting this person, she's like, everything has failed and I need to change everything and work very hard. And so that's how we start off. Oh man, I was really enjoying it. Again, called out. This is too real for me. This is too real because I don't draw anymore. And that's, I feel like a very similar process is why.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it really hit you.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Well, and you know, I think throughout, was it the whole first half we still had never really met?
Yeah, we didn't meet this other girl, I guess, until about like midway through. So the first part, we're just dealing with her, like our main character, throwing herself into working harder, to everyone else making fun of her too, because they're like, "What are you doing? You can't go into middle school and still do this. This is like super embarrassing." And like her family's worrying about her because she's like, "Well, this person's gotten good because they don't go to school and that's literally all they do. I need to literally do only this."
Which is not healthy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Absolutely not. And it doesn't, you know, she does improve a lot, right? But it's like, even though this kid's not coming to school, they're still submitting to like the whatever grade that they're at, like newspaper thing. And they are also improving. They're still very good. And so she's improving with her style, but this person continues to improve with like still life, background, landscape, that kind of work. And so she's gone, just losing it.
Yeah, and their comics are very different. They put them side by side in the paper, which I'm sure did not help her at all.
I wonder if I can find any pictures of that. Let me see.
Yeah, but an example, like, you know, hers are always like funny and entertaining, and there's only like 4 panels, and there's a beginning, middle, and end, and she tells the story, and it's always entertaining. And then what the other character does is it's all background work from like a moment, or so it's not as much a typical comic like we would think of it.
Yeah.
But they look so good, and it does tell its own story in a way. But yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
The other character is missing that element though that she has. And the whole time, I don't know, were you thinking in the beginning, you're just like, oh, they just need to like make comics together. Like they would be
100%
complement each other. Well, of course.
Which is what basically happens once they finally do meet, which I love. I couldn't find pictures of their comics back to back, but I do want to show some of the art because, I mean, the bummer is we read this online, so I don't have it physically in front of me to show you. But I do love this art style a lot because it's kind of, I like the kind of scratchiness of it. I'm not very good at describing this. You can see a little bit of her comic. So like, this is the other character reading a little snippet of the main character's comic. And here's another pic. Oh, well, that was low quality, but basically this is the style of his artwork in this, which I really like. But yeah, so when they finally meet, because she requests they request that she brings the graduation certificate to this person. And so she gets there and they're not answering. And she drops off stuff and she finds that there's pictures of her comics there. And the person comes out and she refers to her as like her last name Sensei, which means is like an instructor for them. Or like Sensei, you could say is like, you also use that for manga artists as well, doctors as well. So if you hear Sensei, you think teacher because that's a literal translation, but you will have them use that for manga artists as well. So like if I ever met Oda, who writes One Piece, he'd be Oda Sensei, right? So that's kind of the reference there. But turns out this other person who does incredible backgrounds is a huge fan of her. It's like, oh my God, I've read all of your comics. I love this storyline. You're incredible. And all of a sudden, it's like your work just improved drastically. It was amazing. You could tell how hard you were working. Can I have your autograph? Also, you just kind of fell off. What happened? Because by the time they reach out, she's realized, like, she just stopped working on manga because she's like, I'm never going to be as good as this person. What is the point? And it had a big effect. And man, our main character got haughty again about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that, but she's consistent. Because the minute this other person's like, oh my God, you're amazing. It's like, oh shit, this person who I had this like imaginary rivalry with, who did not have it with me, thinks I'm amazing. Oh yeah, well, I'm just taking a break because I want to submit a manga thing to this, whatever. Right? And she's like, oh my God, really? And then they team up together. And it was perfect. Like, of course.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're good at backgrounds, but you're not good at the personality, that kind of thing. That makes sense. I love that.
Yeah, and then it became like the perfect duo, really, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because they were pushing each other the whole time, and the main character, got to throw herself into something that she was already like being really good at, but it elevated her work too because the other characters' backgrounds were so good.
And I really like this point because when she gave up, she went back to doing regular things, like things that were expected of her, and it's good to see, especially in the backdrop of Japan, like Japanese like schooling, because it's a very different environment where bullying and everything is normal everywhere. But there is an expectation to do like everybody else is doing. A much more, I guess it's a much heavier expectation. And she wasn't doing that. Like people are going to like blacklist you in middle school if you just don't follow the status quo. So she's like, okay, I will go out and do these things. I will try this like martial arts class. I'll do this and this. And I'll just be like a regular person. Because obviously manga makes me super uncool. And I'm never going to be as good as this person anyway. So what is the point? And it was so nice when they finally connected and started doing this together because they worked hard for like 2 years, right? To put together their manga or something.
Yeah.
To submit it. And they finally found like a kind of home in each other. Because not only are they doing that, but she's helping her get out of her comfort zone, like the shut-in girl, and like getting her out to do stuff. And it was just nice to see them kind of work together that way. It was so sweet.
Yeah, I really like how they came together, and it's something that I didn't expect at the beginning.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was looking at their comics. I was like, oh, they just need to team up. And then they did, which is great. But we will put it out there that it gets real dark.
Yeah.
It gets real dark.
I mean, I think it's okay that we talk. I mean, like,
yeah, it's so
short.
It's so short.
If this is like a big manga, I'd be like, and then you figure it out for yourself. It's just, it took me 10 minutes to read this. Like, I literally was like, oh shit, it's like an hour before. I'll go ahead and read it now because I was expecting like at maximum it'll take like 45 minutes because manga is pretty quick. So I put Pokemon down, I set this up, and I sat down to read it, and I was like, oh, sweet, I have more time. I have more time to prep for
more Pokemon time. Yeah.
Or the ice gym or whatever. But yeah, I like, because this could have been all that it was. It could have been just total slice of life, these two people making a manga together, because they ended up being successful, and they help each other, right? But man, our girl's hubris is still high. And I like that about her, Because you get to this point where the shut-in's like, no, I want to go to art college. I need to stop making manga for now. And at this point, she's like, well, it's almost like she takes like an ownership of this girl, because this shut-in has idolized her. They end up working together. And I think she thinks, oh, well, this person's my person, right? They idolize me. Their life revolves around me. We're going to do this forever together. They're making money. They're doing well. And she's like, I need to go to art school by myself. And she's like, what are you talking about? Why would you go to art school? It's not going to help you. You're not going to get any better jobs. Like, just keep doing this with me. I'm going to be the one. It's me. I'm helping you. And she even says like, well, fine. If you want to do that, that's okay. I can get other people to do backgrounds. I don't need you to do that. They have people in the business that do the backgrounds. Like a big, like, F you sort of deal. And they end up going their separate ways. And it was, this girl, I feel like I get her. Such a, like, you just needed somebody to make you feel big. And then when you didn't have it, you doubled down on it.
Mm.
And because like the show, and she's just so genuine in her, and like she's like, no, I'm gonna do this. And they go their separate ways. And like our main character goes on to make a pretty successful manga, which is just a parody of Chainsaw Man, but it's like a shark guy.
Yeah.
So you see clips of it, and it's basically just the author parodizing his own work, which is fun. And then the shit goes down, because again, it could end there, be like, oh, and then we never really got together, but we always appreciate each other's work, and our work did different things. And it went away that I did not expect.
Not at all.
Which I think we should talk about anyways.
Yeah. Our main character is watching TV one day, right?
Yeah.
Well, she has it on the background. I don't think she ever watches TV, probably.
Yeah, and you see she has volumes of that manga already, like 6 or 7.
Yeah, like a lot. And she hears in the background a news report about a guy going into an art college and just, was he hatcheting people? Is that right? Like,
he
had an
murdered
axe?
A bunch of people with an axe.
Yeah. And she's immediately like, wait. And then calls, her shut-in friend, who she hasn't talked to in probably forever at this point, really long time. Doesn't get an answer. And just immediately, like, you're reading this, you're like, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she seems to immediately know. And it's horrible. And then I don't know about you, but I was reading this, I was like, wait, what just happened?
I had to reread it.
Yeah.
I was like, it didn't even occur to me it was the same school. Because the way it was written and the way the school looked, I was like, oh, is it like their old school they went to or something? Because at first I was like, did your friend go back and murder people all of a sudden? Did they go crazy?
Right, yeah.
That's what I thought. I thought I went crazy and then murdered people, right? But it wasn't. They got murdered. And I was like, oh, shit. And then you see, like, our main girl put her, like, manga on hiatus for sickness. And that's when you get to the look back part of it, which is really interesting. So it can be confusing. She does not go back in time, presumably. But it's as if she tries to if she could rewrite it, here's how she would rewrite it. Rewrite it only she actually like illustrated it kind of, but
well, it's one of those moments that when something that terrible happens that affects you like that, you want to be like, is there anything I could have done to change this, especially after the big fallout? Right? She's just like, well, what could I have done? That's how I took it, at least.
Yeah.
So then you see her go back all the way to when she first met, the shut-in, and like rewriting all of it to being like the complete opposite viewpoint even, right? I think we get like the opposite viewpoint of them. Yeah, the whole time I was like, wait, is this real or is this her memory? But then I was like, okay, I think it's just her trying to deal with this and figure out what could have changed.
Like, what I imagine is her sitting down to process this by making manga where she rewrites things in a way that could have fixed it. Is what I'm thinking. So yeah, because she's like, it's my fault. If I had never encouraged her to leave her home, she would have never gone to art school, and this never would have happened, right? But in her story, which is great, she gets there, and that's what this little thing is from, where she rips up the manga she brought to her and just cuts and just puts the "don't come out" thing in there for her not to come out. But she still goes to art school eventually later on in life. And so then she imagines herself showing up just as the guy is about to attack her.
Yeah.
And then beats him up until the police come. Because she's been taking martial arts classes, which they was referenced in. But and then it just the kind of repeating things like, and so instead they would meet then for the first time, and it would still be beautiful because that person still has this admiration for them, and then they would continue to go on how as they originally planned. So she's like, okay, if I could have fixed these 2 moments in time, then we could have gone back to what my vision of what our life should be. Because I love that in the end, regardless, it wasn't about like, it was still about what she would want. So I almost think she was like, okay, she never left the house, then she'd be safe. But I would still never get what I wanted. So maybe she still goes to college, but then I show up and I fight the guy. And then we meet then for the first time. So now colleges are art school's already out of the way. She's probably done with it. And then we collaborate and make this big manga together. And she wouldn't go back to art school. And then we would have my original plan where we're together and we're doing all this stuff is how, and of course, like you end the manga with her in the room kind of by herself. And it's really sad where none of that's true.
Yeah.
Love it. I thought it was really cool.
Well, and I have to say, like, the part specifically about where she imagines that she comes back and fights the guy because she was taking the martial arts class. And I love that moment because it is a throwback of, like, I believe her sister or something coming in and being like, well, I'm taking a class. You should come take it with me. And then the main character was like, nah, I got to work on the manga. So, like, she never actually took that class. So she was also thinking, well, maybe if I would have actually done that, I could defeat. So, like, she's just rethinking all of her choices. And I just like that little throwback moment where you're like, oh, that's another tiny little thing in her life that she's like, maybe it would have made a difference. And I feel
super relatable.
Yeah, we've all, like, done that, right? So when something tragic, unexpected happens like that, you're just like, what could I have done to change this?
Yeah.
And ultimately it's like, well, nothing. Like, something else could have happened, right? Like, but you put yourself in that spiral, and it was cool to see that play out.
Yeah. I really liked it. And I it's so well done. And I could be looking too much into it, but that's what these shows are for. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Because again, like, it's not like it was totally selfless of her either. You know?
Right,
There was some selflessness up there because she really cared about her friend. But again, I love the fact that she built a scenario in her head that was really advantageous to her. Because I think we've all done that. We're like, okay, what if this thing didn't happen, if this person didn't die, if I did these different things, what would my life look like right now? And what would make it the more ideal situation? Like, maybe it would look like this, but if I did these things, it'd be perfect for me. And like, I really liked it. It was very well done. And again, so different. If you read this first and read Chainsaw Man, you'd be like, what?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Versus reading it like the opposite was kind of like, oh, this, you know, not that Chainsaw Man doesn't have some depth. I think it has some unexpected depth, you know. But when you think about, like, the vomit and like moments like that, and then read something like this, you're like, wow, okay. So this person has
people
layers.
Are capable of, like, all sorts of things.
Sure. But it doesn't always happen, right? We don't always get drastically different manga from a lot of these creators, right? So that was cool. It was cool to see.
And I'm very curious now. Like, I'd love to hear him talk about this and see, like, now I'm curious about his own growing up, because he became a manga, like, writer and illustrator. I'm curious of how much of his personal life he put into this. Yeah, was he also like praised when he was younger for being in a manga, and then kind of ridiculed a little bit in the middle school? Like, I'm curious if he had the same experience.
Which I can see that too, because, you know, it's Chainsaw Man is a different, quote unquote, different kind of art style than you expect from, like, a shonen or something, right? I think I mean, there's some similarities, but it's a very sketchy. It's something that I think, you know, we're used to seeing more polished art, and I really like the art, but
I like
it's not your typical, right?
Well, it's great because I feel like I've read a lot more shoujo that has this style of art than I have shonen. Yeah, because shonen I feel like it's a lot harder lines. But this felt very sketchy. I love, like, I don't know any art terms. I could show you. But I like the way this was put together. It reminds me of a lot of my favorite shoujo manga from growing up. This is really cool. I mean, it's an easy 10 out of 10 because it just is what it is. It was very interesting and thought-provoking, despite only being, again, we talked for more than 10 minutes. It was a very quick read.
Yeah, it was like 100-something pages. And I mean, even Chainsaw Man, I guess we should have expected it because that thing flew by as well, right?
Yeah, we need to catch up on that too.
We really do. Yeah.
You gotta watch the anime. It's so good.
I do. I keep forgetting it's on Hulu. I'm like, that's easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Like, definitely did it justice. Like, that's very awesome. Good.
Love that.
And I know that he's written at least one other ongoing manga. Let me look at him again. I think it's on. Yeah. So he wrote Chainsaw Man. Goodbye Eri is another. I guess if I realized that was also by him and also one-shot manga, we could have done both. Because Goodbye Eri is also on Shonen Jump. It's also one shot.
Didn't know. Yeah.
And he wrote something called Fire Punch, which
I've heard of Fire
haven't
Punch.
read.
Yeah.
But I assume it will feel kind of weird if we do read that, because it will feel a lot like Fire Force, or like or like what's his name from My Hero Academia, Todoroki.
Yeah.
So even just looking at this poster, I'm like, that looks kind of like Todoroki though. Like, are you sure it's not? It's a little bit like Todoroki, but so good.
Yep, it's great. Again, if y'all haven't checked out the Shonen Jump app, we're not sponsored. We should be, but it's only $2 a month. So if you want to just get it for a month, try it out. You can read this, you can read some other stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's great.
Because I mean, One Piece is still good, still killing it.
Yeah,
especially after that movie. This movie's so good. You would like it. It's music based.
Oh,
it's
that's
so fun. You. Love it. I think of what else is on here that's like, because now we've finished talking about this. Let me shout out some manga that's good.
Yeah.
Sakamoto Days, which we reviewed, about the old man who was a retired hitman.
I need to get back into that too. So fun.
Definitely recommend.
Spy Family.
Spy Family. Yeah, Spy Family, especially right now, because the anime came out for that. Season 2 is starting, and that one is blown up. It's always fun because you and I will read different manga, and it doesn't really blow up in a big way here in the US until an anime will come out. Right. So like, I saw some Chainsaw Man cosplays. I will see a ton now that the anime is out. Spy Family, I didn't see that many. There are so many now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Everyone and their mom is cosplayed.
That's cool to see.
Family.
I mean, I read a ton of One Punch Man, which is great, of course.
Oh yeah. And I think One Punch Man works for, even if you're more of a Western comic book reader.
Yeah.
I think you'll enjoy One Punch Man because it is superhero based. There's some I want to say frivolity, but that feels so pretentious. There's some silliness to the book that's very fun. So you have these superheroes, and there's a ton of like really good superhero manga out right now. So like One Punch Man and My Hero Academia, if you're looking for like an entryway and you're a big two, Western comic book reader, and you're thinking about reading manga, but you're not sure how to make that jump. Nice. One Punch Man and My Hero Academia are good jumping on points. Damn, I did jumping again. So good. Because you're dealing with superheroes and like almost like unionized superheroes in both of them. And it's very interesting to see how that's done. Especially with One Punch Man, where literally he just has to punch the guy once and there you go.
It's so entertaining though, it really is.
It's so good. But yeah, that's we talked about what else is new, you guys. We can chill for a little bit and then I can get back to Pokemon.
You're like right now. Well, did we say hi to everybody? Did we do that?
We have it, so let's catch up.
Yeah.
James, hello.
Hey, James.
Mark. Hello, Mark. Mark, hello. I hope you're recovering from all your travels. Mark plays Pokemon Go, but I don't know if he plays Pokemon.
Oh.
Mary and Hayden. Just to say what? Hello, hi. Where'd my voice go? You ever just try talking and it doesn't work anymore?
Oh, 100%. But you know what? I have to tell you real quick, everyone who's watching, speaking of Mary, my voice is going too.
No, I spread it.
Right then. Mary and I at 2 p.m. Eastern today.
Yeah, you guys are keeping it up.
We're going for it. Check out the Comics Layer channel. We're gonna be doing a book tag about, well, it's called the e-reader.
Listen, when are you guys gonna call it pros and cons? Okay, listen,
I know we need to.
It's the best show I've ever come up with.
I know. I have that on a notebook in front of me still because so we're gonna have to do that for sure. But we're gonna talk about we're gonna do an e-reader book tag.
Okay.
Which a book tag, it's a series of prompts of questions. So we're gonna answer all those. Ooh. We're gonna talk about e-readers. We're gonna talk about digital reading, of course, physical reading, things like that. I think it'll be a lot of interesting discussion, and we're gonna have fun. So check us out then live.
Absolutely, way better than this.
Nothing's better than this, Maddie. Come on.
Nothing compares. Look at that, James. You know, that's a
James.
dependable man right there.
You're the real MVP, man.
I can't depend on a lot of my life, but I can always depend on James Abel. All right. Oh, I heard that was an internet rumor.
Oh, weird. He can't be dead. He has to go to every con.
Every con.
Like all the cons ever.
Jesus martial arts. Did you know I was so in love with Jason David Frank as a kid? I had the VHS of the White Ranger Kata, and that was like my exercise. So he would like teach me moves in the VHS, and I'd be like, yeah. Tommy's
so do you feel cool. Does it feel extra wonderful then that you could just walk by him at every con ever?
No. And if he's dead, I'm gonna feel a little bad by saying this. But he got different later. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If I run into Billy, I feel good. I like Billy a lot.
Okay.
Gay icon.
Every time I've walked by him at a con, which is a lot, he seems very nice and being lovely to people. So that's cool.
And if you live anywhere near me, you see Bulk and Skull every year. Every year. They're there. They're at every after party at LexCon. They're just there. It's so
I feel like
weird.
That's where I've went by him many times, where he's just in the crowd talking to people.
What? It's so confusing because it might be a rumor, but some My Morphin Power Rangers actors are posting it, but then the only source is an alleged trainer, so no one knows.
What's the rumor that happened?
He's dead.
But like, what are they saying happened?
A friend sent it to me, and he's like, "Oh, never mind. It's just a rumor." But then I couldn't see the original post, so I don't know.
I feel like we've had like a ton of tragic passings this year already. Like it's a lot.
Yeah. In a positive note, Target has the buy two get one free sale again.
Okay, nice.
That counts for board games, books, and video games.
Well,
so you can buy Pokemon or Ooblets.
Oh my gosh!
Allegedly, it's suicide. No, Hayden.
Oh no.
Oh, it's gonna be so sad. Well, I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not.
I can't think about it right now. I've got to keep this. I gotta keep this positive, whatever it is, going. I'll acknowledge it once I know it's true or not.
Sad.
I gotta live today, you know.
I get it. We want that for you.
Yeah.
Well, have you been reading anything lately? Just for fun? No,
it's been a busy.
You're like, it's Pokemon.
I read something for like a book club at work, but that ended up didn't happen. Didn't end up not happening. Oh my god, I can't talk. And it was like it's called Fairest, a Memoir, and it's by Meredith Talisan, and she's like an immigrant from the Philippines, like an albino immigrant who came here, went to college, then transitioned. It's okay.
It's okay.
You ever read a memoir and you're like, I don't really like this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's happened to me with, I'll tell you later who it was. But I was like, oh.
What a bummer.
I don't like this. And it was someone I liked going into it. And then I was like, I don't like you anymore. This is not cool.
We haven't. So I want to read that next because I didn't. If I had looked ahead of time, because we chose this, we knew it was a one shot. We knew it was by the guy who made Chainsaw Man. But I didn't know until looking at after I read this that he also wrote that one shot. So
yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
Sometime maybe we'll like catch up on Chainsaw Man and then also talk about Goodbye Eri.
It's a great idea.
He's like our age.
Really?
Tatsuki Fujimoto. Yeah. That feels weird now to be the age of like big manga people are your age.
It really does. Yeah.
I was thinking of like Oda, right? Or like Miyazaki, who is still kicking.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, he's from Akita. I studied abroad there in high school. I went to Japanese high school and wore a uniform and everything. I read a lot of Doraemon in the library.
I watched that Grogu short.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet still. I have to
it's like 3 minutes. So
yeah. How'd you feel about it?
It was really cute. I mean, I liked it. It's 3 minutes, so like nothing much happened, but I liked it. It was cute.
I wonder if they'll show any of those in the museum, because in the museum they show like shorts
Oh yeah.
that they don't
Yeah.
show everywhere else, like Mei-chan, the Kitten Bus, and
That's cool.
the Hauser and Castle inspired one. Pretty cool. Well, I reckon we can end stuff early, only because I feel like I need to drink water.
I get it. My voice keeps going out too, and I have water beside me, but I'm like, no. I get it. Well, I do have to tell you real quick. I did start reading again because clearly everyone watching needs to know this.
Yeah.
I'm reading it again because the next one comes out next week. So
shit, I forgot it's next week. Yes,
Yeah,
I know what I'm doing Thanksgiving weekend.
So excited. I know, right? I'm like, it's perfect time for it.
Kristan, you have a regular job now, and like weekends free.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to schedule a weekend and come here.
I agree.
You're always driving other places, but you're never driving to me.
Well, you know what? It is a problem. I agree.
And I feel like we need to fix that because I know inevitably I will end up in your town, your city, in December because my family lives there.
Right. So we have to make that happen. I'm hoping it's not the weekend we're not going to be in town.
I hope not.
For Reed's family. Yeah.
But you need to come visit and I'll take care of you and I'll feed you. There's a cat here.
I'm in. I know.
And then
look, you didn't even need to throw in the cat. You're there. That's already appealing enough.
And then I'll make it so cozy. I'll build like a fort and shit. So we'll have some snacks.
Yes. Well, you have to have snacks. Yeah.
I'll buy us matching pajamas.
We'll be those people. Yeah.
That's what I want. We'll do like a 15-minute live stream. We're like, hey.
We're in the fort today. What's up?
Hey guys. Instagram Live, a feature we don't use. What's going on?
Yeah, right.
Could you imagine this on this channel? We're just like, oh, what's up? Like, what is this? All the guys that usually watch comic book stuff are like,
yeah. Oh, they skip us immediately anyway.
They're like, girls.
They're like, girls. Boring. We don't care.
Why do people listen to women? Literally a comment we've gotten. Why do people aren't they boring? What?
Yep.
What are you talking about?
They're not actually reading those comics.
Did you want me to watch some guy just tell you what's coming out with no commentary?
Ooh,
love that. So fun. So fun. That thing.
Or the ones where they're like, oh, you just, a book that we did not review favorably. They're like, oh, you just didn't understand it. You just didn't have the life experience.
It had sexual assault in it. You just didn't get it because it didn't happen to you. I'm like, first of all, presumptuous.
Yeah, right. Second, what? What did you just?
I love the internet.
Yeah, good times.
It's okay.
But hey, we do love everyone watching, so thank you for being lovely.
I've told people we've curated our audience to what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? James is always going to be here.
Yeah, thank you, James.
Appreciate you, James.
Always.
You show up even when I schedule something the wrong time. And I love that about you.
It's wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. Go watch Kristan and Mary today. You've got to.
That's right. 2 p.m. Eastern on the Comic Slayer channel. We're going to be live. Come talk to us.
If you're playing Pokemon, tell me some cool stuff you've caught, and I'll tell you about Tinkaton. She evolved today from Tinkatuff.
Ooh, I need to get it. I need to jump back in with my Switch with Pokemon.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you next Sunday when we read something that I have on this list. It is
Wind Volume 1 and 2. We did it.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.